China has been vehemently refusing to receive or discuss any matters with U.S. representatives. Tensions between the two powers are rising for a variety of reasons, including China's growing support for Russia and Taiwan, the use of spy balloons, sanctions on Chinese companies led by the American government, and the question of American leadership in the world. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we will discuss the growing tension between the United States and China that refuses to talk with the U.S. government on relevant matters. We will also explore China's perspective on the matter. If you like our content, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates on global events. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's go to the video. The U.S. has complained about China's negligence and lack of interest in communicating with the U.S. government. China has refused to reschedule U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to China, and according to the Asian government, the Chinese Ministry of Defense has refused the U.S. Department of Defense's request for liaison. Defense ministers from China and the U.S. have not spoken for nearly 5 months. At the G7 foreign ministers meeting in Japan, Blinken called on China on Tuesday, saying China must make clear its intentions to continue dealings with the U.S. and that countries around the world expect us to manage relationship with China responsibly. Colin Kahl, Undersecretary of the U.S. Department of Defense, went so far as to say that China refuses to speak during crises to try to scare the U.S. into fleeing the Western Pacific. Blinken's planned visit to China in February was postponed by the U.S. due to the alleged Chinese spy balloon. China has denied the balloons were spies and has vowed retaliation against the U.S. for what happened, as well as saying it had no intention of rescheduling the meeting. He refused to come, but now he insists on coming. "We are not available to the U.S., our diplomacy is very busy," said a Chinese government official. As for the fact that the Chinese defense minister does not answer the calls of the American defense minister, China says that it is waiting for the lifting of sanctions imposed on the Chinese Minister of Defense, Li Shangfu. If the U.S. really wants to maintain contact and communication with China, it shouldn't act that way. In recent days, leaders of countries, including U.S. allies, and heads of international organizations have visited China. The country has been seeking to have a greater global position and isolate the U.S. China's representatives are really inclined to ignore the Americans and demand a strong change of posture on the part of the U.S. government. However, what we are seeing is something in the opposite direction. From both parties, there is no clear intention of rapprochement. In recent days, China has made a dangerous rapprochement with Russia. The Chinese defense minister spent about a week in Russia shortly after Xi Jinping's visit to Putin. Both governments announced a strategic military partnership, and the Russian government continues its incursion into Ukraine, an invasion which China says the U.S. government and some Western countries encourage by making weapons available. For its part, China is threatening to invade Taiwan, which it claims is Chinese territory. On the other hand, the U.S. has already announced several sanctions against China and its companies and is considering expanding these restrictions even further. The U.S. has been urging other allied countries to do the same. In the tension in Taiwan, the Americans announced the sale of $3 billion in weapons to increase the country's defense capacity. This fact further increased the irritation of the Chinese, who retaliated with a grandiose military exercise on Taiwan after the country's president, Tsai Ing-wen, met with the President of the United States Congress, Kevin McCarthy. Thank you for watching our video on the rising tension between the U.S. and China. We value your opinion and would love to hear from you on this matter. Do you believe there is a right or wrong side to this story? Will this dispute be resolved through dialogue? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on current events around the world. Until next time, take care.